David here with Figboot on pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Today I have for you a pen from the brand Xezo. I previously reviewed a couple of their pens, and the one I have for you today is rather interesting. It is a pen in their Maestro line, and it is called the Maestro Black Mother of Pearl Tungsten. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of this pen, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about it. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to the good folks at Xezo for providing this pen for review. It arrives in this box. The Xezo boxes are rather unique. They open from the middle. And inside we have a bunch of stuff. There is what they call a certificate of quality. There is a warranty card. There is a box of cartridges, as well as a polishing cloth, which comes in handy for this particular pen. And then speaking of the pen, here it is. This is the Xezo Maestro Black Mother of Pearl Tungsten. As the name would imply, this pen utilizes a combination of tungsten and mother of pearl, with the tungsten cap and end of the barrel and section, and the mother of pearl over the majority of the barrel. And the trim on this pen is platinum plated. Let's start by taking a look at the cap. The top of the cap is rounded. It transitions into the clip. There's a clip band, and then you have this wavy clip. This clip reminded me of an Italian horn, which is a symbol, among other things, of good luck. Now, this clip doesn't have as much of a curve in it, but I thought they looked a little bit similar. The clip isn't too stiff and will work with materials of varying thickness, even the thicker leather of pen sleeves. The cap angles up for about the first inch before straightening out. I will say that this shiny tungsten is a bit of an oil magnet. I don't have the oiliest of hands, but I do find that this material really accumulates smudges on here. So I find myself having to wipe it off on a regular basis. So it's helpful that they included a polishing cloth with the pen. The end of the cap has an engraved band. On it, it's engraved with the company name, Maestro, then it has .999 platinum plated and the number of the pen. I really could do without the reference to the platinum plating on the band. I feel it's a little bit superfluous. After the band, there is a medium-sized step down to the barrel, which begins with a Greek key band. Then we have the barrel adorned with Tahitian black mother of pearl. The process to produce this barrel takes around 2 weeks to complete and involves a great deal of manual polishing in order to bring out the unique colors of the material. The barrel is a little bit bulbous, with the thickest point being in the middle, and it tapers down in both directions. Near the end of the barrel, there is another Greek key band, and then on the very end, there's another tungsten piece. And it has a rounded end and includes some posting threads. Now, posting threads are a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Typically, I don't care for them. I'm not a big fan of the looks, and most of the time, the effort to unscrew the cap and then screw it back on the end of the barrel is a bit of a pain. In the case of this pen, I feel that they have mitigated my annoyance. First of all, the thread width is very narrow, and the tungsten does a good job of hiding them well, so you barely notice them. The other good thing is that when you remove the cap, which can be done in a single rotation, when you're posting, it only takes a quarter of a rotation to affix it, so you can post it quickly with little effort. Now, the downside is I feel the weight of the cap significantly backweights this pen and throws off the balance, so I prefer to use this pen unposted. The pen has a two-tone stainless steel No. 5 JoWo nib. It's available in either fine or medium. With the rest of this trim being silver in color, I feel it might have looked nicer if the nib was just straight silver rather than having the two-tone. I think the gold clashes a little bit with the visual aesthetics of the rest of the pen. And here's a look at the plastic feed. The section begins with a rather steep flare and angles up at an even rate of rise until you reach the plastic threads and a very small step up to the remainder of the barrel. Even though this section is metal, tungsten to be specific, I don't find it to be overly slick. For me, the large flare at the end helps me maintain a solid grip. This is a cartridge converter pen. It accepts standard international cartridges, and a converter is provided. With the abundance of metal in this pen, eyedropping would not be recommended. The Xezo Maestro Black Mother of Pearl Tungsten is available on the Xezo website and sells for $260, which I feel is on the high end in regard to a value proposition for this particular model. There are some things I like about it. While it is something that attracts smudges, I think the tungsten is an interesting material that provides a neat gunmetal type look. And to have the mother of pearl on here is a nice contrast as well. It maybe would have been nice to have a larger number 6 nib though. I'll put a link in the notes below where you can find this pen on the Xezo site. Now be aware it's a little bit odd on their site. Rather than having a drop down where you select your nib size, there is a separate product listed for each nib size. I'll put a link to both nib options in the notes below. So now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. So here we go with some size comparisons for the Xezo Maestro Black Mother of Pearl Tungsten. I wanted to give you a closer look at that mother of pearl. It really looks interesting and has a bit of chatoyance when the light hits it just right. And I do care for the look of this tungsten, even though it is a bit of a smudge magnet. But in regard to a couple of other Xezo pens, here it is with a regular Maestro model. And then here it is with a Maestro 925, which refers to the quality of the silver that is in the barrel. And then in regard to a pen that also has some abalone in it, this is a Conklin Endura. In regard to a few other pens, here it is with an Opus 88, and then here it is with a Classic Pens LM1, and then finally here it is with a Classic Lamy 2000. In regard to some uncapped comparisons, here it is with the Opus 88, and here it is with the Conklin Endura, and finally, here it is with the Lamy 2000. Here we go with the writing sample for the Xezo, which is Xezo. And this is the Maestro. And this is the Black Mother of Pearl, MOP Tungsten. This is a medium stainless steel nib, and the ink that I'm using today is from Papier Plume, and it is their Bloody Pumpkin. Here's what the ink looks like. It's a nice reddish orange with a decent amount of shading to it. Then this is what it looks like in regard to Monteverde Mandarin Orange, which is a little bit more saturated. And then there's Diamine Pumpkin, which is a little bit more on the orangish side. This is what the bottle looks like. That Papier Plume has a lot of really nice inks, and then usually they have a fleur-de-lis they put on the top here on the wax seal, but for the Halloween ink here, appropriately enough, they put a pumpkin. Here we go with the rest of the writing sample. While I do wish that this was a number 6 nib as opposed to number 5, I do find that this one is pleasant. You're not going to get tons of line variation, but if you force it, you can. For a medium nib, I find that the ink flow is decent on this particular pen in regard to reverse writing. It's a little bit hit and miss. But in regard to some fast writing, the feed has no issues in keeping up. So there we have the Xezo Maestro Black Mother of Pearl Tungsten. I think it's an interesting addition to the Xezo lineup. I know that these pens are available in limited numbers, so if it's something that interests you, you probably want to check it out sooner rather than later before they are gone. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.